undefined, soul's desire. You don't even know what you did. Now I'm on fire, fire, burning, burning out of control, taking me higher, higher, a feeling I can't hold on my own.
Welcome to Halloween here at My Psychic Connection. Yes, I am the Scottish Witch of the North, and I'm here tonight to cross the veil with you. Nah, only kidding. Hi, it's me. It's Innerji The Metaphysical Crone here at My Psychic Connection. And happy Halloween, everybody, because where you are in the world, it's Halloween. But where I am in the world, it's the opposite. It's Beltane, but more about that later. So yes, tonight's show is all about Beyond the Veil. And of course, we're going to have heaps of readings. We're going to have the emoji game. So don't forget, we're starting right now with that emoji. And Gemma says, you look amazing. Oh, Gemma, thank you. Well, I am the crone after all, so it kind of seemed appropriate. And so don't forget to put in some Halloween emojis tonight, as well as kangaroos for our emoji game, because you will receive a divination reading if you put in the most emojis. Also tonight, we've got Crystal Connection, where you'll guess the crystal, and we also have our mystic moment a little bit later on as well. Now, all about the readings. Of course, I will be doing the normal 2-minute reading with one question only, please. When that bell goes off, so do I stop talking. We also have some donated readings to choose from. So if you would like a longer reading or a more in-depth reading, you can choose from a 3-minute reading with one question only. And also there is the mini and mega readings, which are untimed. The mini, one question only. The mega, you can have more than one question or a follow-up question. Now, I am not doing mediumship tonight, but that doesn't mean that you can't receive mediumship readings here at My Psychic Connection. We have some of the most amazing mediums here. We have Journey Ryan live with his show. We have Psychic K with her show. We also have our beautiful Destiny K with her show. And of course, if you want to go and get a private mediumship reading, you can pop on over to mypsychicconnection.com. I'm just not moving into mediumship tonight. That's all, but plenty of others will. And so let's go through some of the no-go zones tonight. Remember, we're not doing any general readings here, but if you do want a general reading, once again, you can pop over to mypsychicconnection.com and book in there. Now, the other thing is we don't do any health or medical. That includes pregnancy and end of life. And of course, no medical or legal. If any of those questions come up, I will just pass them by because those are best left to the professionals. And we go out to the whole world. So, you know, in some countries, unless you're a professionally qualified in those areas, you're not allowed to give out that kind of information. So I ask you just to really stick to that rule in particular. Now, of course, with your questions, make them specific as you can, a little bit of juice, a little bit of detail, so I can jump straight in. With general questions, you know, what does my love life look like? That to me is a general question. So rather than that, you'd be asking, how's my relationship looking at the moment? Or I'm looking to find love. What might that look like? That's more of a specific question. Okay, so is everyone ready for some Halloween shenanigans tonight? I hope you are. So let's take our first question. Who do we have, please? And we have Love. Hello, Love. Great to see you here. And Love asks, hi, Innerji. Is the timing good this week to open a Zoom for my work? I'm afraid if I wait longer, Mercury retrograde will go in the shadow. Thank you. Well, Love, Mercury goes retrograde on about the 13th of December and goes through until the 1st of January next year. So you've got a little bit of time if you're wanting to avoid Mercury retrograde. But let's have a look at how it might go this week if you open up your Zoom. Let's see. Okay, so I've got the Queen of Swords. And this is my Haunted Mansion tarot deck that I'm using tonight, or the Dark Mansion, I should say, so something nice and spooky. So with this Queen of Swords, I'm seeing that you really need to be clear, logical, and objective when it comes to making decisions. Sometimes rushing in too soon might actually not be helpful, because I feel that you haven't completely pulled it all together at this moment. And remember, you've got until about the 13th of December if you want to sort of avoid that Mercury retrograde as you start up. So I feel like be clear about what it is that you want to achieve with this, and have very, very sound, objective information, and make sound decisions without rushing. I've also got the Star reverse. So I feel rushing in and starting this week is not going to stand you in good stead. I feel that the light will be dimmed. I feel like there'll be something that gets in the way and blocks. So I encourage you to just take a little bit longer. And finally, I've got the Five of Pentacles, or the Five of Coins. And this is saying that, no, if you rush in and start it this week, it won't be as successful. So I feel that you really need to look carefully at your timing. And remember, Mercury retrograde isn't always as bad as it seems. It affects different people in different ways, depending on what's going on in your own astrology chart. So always remember that. And of course, with anything like that, forewarned is forearmed. Let's do it. Be clear about what you want. I do hope you found that to be helpful, love. And thank you for that question. It was a really good one. It had a bit of meat, a bit of context to it, and I always appreciate those. Mercury retrograde. You know, every planet goes into retrograde at some point. Some are in retrograde for longer, like Jupiter is still in retrograde. I believe Saturn is still retrograde. And when we look at retrograde planets, it's not just all necessarily doom and gloom. It's about looking, and Love says, you look adorable, Innerji. Oh, thank you. I'm going to blush and then take away my dead pale face. But when we're looking at Mercury retrograde, or any of the planets in retrograde, it's not just good versus bad going into retrograde. It's about being more aware. It also gives us the opportunity to look back and review other things that we've been doing to see how we might change them moving forward. So yeah, we all freak out about retrograde, particularly Mercury retrograde, because misunderstandings can occur. But let's put it into context. And if you know that it has a difficult effect on you, then you can prepare beforehand to do something about it. All right, I think we should go on to our next question. Who do we have, please? And we have Gemma. Hello, Gemma. And Gemma says, daughter has been very moody, stubborn since being pregnant. Her boyfriend has been talking to other women online. Oh, that's not good. But they want to stay together. How can they come together in the relationship again? I'm going to go to my love deck for this one, because you need a love deck no matter whether it's Halloween or not. So let's see what we've got around what they can do to move forward together in this relationship, and see what we've got. Okay, so the first card I have out is the Eight of Pentacles. You know, I do feel like they really care for each other. I do feel like feelings are there. I sometimes feel, though, how can I put this? I'm just going to be blunt. It can look a little bit like a show rather than genuine commitment necessarily. And so I feel with this Eight of Pentacles, I feel that they've got to get beyond the practicalities of how they are together and get back to the heart stuff. How do they truly feel about each other? I've also got the Seven of Cups, and this is confirming for me that, yes, he is online talking to other women. He is doing it because he needs other company, not just your daughter, but it's about him going, see, I'm attractive. See, the girls like me. And so I feel like he's doing it more for ego, more for building his confidence as well. And, you know, I think that's part of who he is. I think he is doing that as part of just, that's normal for him. I've got the Lover's card reversed, so things are well and truly out of balance with this relationship. Now, you said your daughter was being a bit moody and stubborn at the moment. Well, you know, hormones can play a part in terms of our moods, so just be aware of that. But yeah, this relationship is not on an even keel at the moment. And I've also got the Five of Pentacles upright. And I do feel that, you know, there's going to be a lot of hard work that needs to go into this. There needs to be more communication. I feel there needs to be honest, heartfelt talk. not just skimming the surface. Thank you so much for your question, Gemma. I really appreciate it. That's a tough one, isn't it? That really is a tough one because, and this is for everyone. When we're in relationships, it does bring up trust issues when we see things or we think things are happening and we don't quite know what they are, and maybe our partner isn't talking to us about it. And so I always come back to my old mantra: communication is the key. But when it comes to communication, it's all about timing and how you approach it. So, if you have something going on in your relationship, always keep that in mind. Now, of course, tonight, and Love says, thank you, Innerji. Very helpful. I will follow your advice. Oh, thank you so much. And Love says the spider looks like it's crawling. Yes, it's my pet spider, my pet plastic spider, because I wouldn't have a real one near my face. Now, of course, thank you for that lovely feedback. And if you would like to leave a review on not just my readings, but any of the readings that our beautiful psychics do here at My Psychic Connection, make sure you pop on over to journeyryanlive.com and you can leave your review there. We are so appreciative of any feedback and any reviews that you bring in. Okay, I think we should go to our next question, please. I feel like I'm on a roll. Wow, we've got a donation from Marianne. I hope I'm saying your name correctly, Marianne. Thank you so much for your donation. Donations are always appreciated here at My Psychic Connection, and we have a 3-minute reading. Marianne asks, I just got divorced. My ex-husband is trying to come back. Shall I give him a chance? Well, let's have a look. I'm going to go to my love deck again for this one for you, Marianne, and see how things might look if you took your ex-husband back. And Miriam says, yes, you are welcome. Thank you, my dear. I really appreciate it. So let's have a look at the state of things now with you. The state of things with your ex and how it might look if you got back together. All right, so the things with you at the moment, I feel part of you is considering it, because I've got the 8 of Wands here and she's forging ahead in a forward future direction, but she's holding out her hand to someone behind her. So I feel like for you, even though the divorce has happened, you still haven't quite let go yet. And so that's why you're teeter-tottering about this potential. In terms of your ex, I feel that your ex is missing you. I feel that your ex wants to have his cake and eat it too, I'm sorry to say. I feel like I just have to be blunt tonight. I really do. I feel like, yes, he wants back in, but he wants it under his terms, not necessarily both of your terms. If you go ahead with this, I've got the High Priestess, and what I'm seeing here is that if you decided to let your ex back in your life, I feel like you've really got to use your intuition and trust your instincts around this with this High Priestess card. I feel that you need to look at it from a new perspective, not just continue on from what you had before when you were both married. If you choose, because this is a free will choice, if you choose to let him come back into your life, looking at starting a relationship again, then it needs to set different boundaries. It needs to have new conditions. And I feel that you've got to be careful, because I've got the Queen of Swords reversed, that you might lose yourself in it. I feel like previously you kind of lost yourself in this relationship, in this marriage. And I feel like you're just slowly starting to get back to who you are. So if you decide to go ahead with this, take it very, very slowly. He does, I do not want him back. I will not go back. I do not love him again. Have a look at this. I'm just going to turn this Queen of Swords the right way up. That's you. That's what you've become. And if you chose to go back into this relationship with him, you would lose that self-power. You would lose that empowerment. And I feel that, dare I say, that this was quite a controlling relationship as well. I feel like you didn't get a lot of choice. And I've got the Two of Pentacles reversed. This is also saying to me that you need to stand your ground and be steady. If you don't want to have him back, if you truly don't love him anymore and you don't want to take it any further, then stand up and say, talk to the hand. No, I'm not doing it. Let's do some... I hope you found that to be of help, but beware. Beware. Thank you so much. And that's an example, A, of a very good question, a question that has context, and also an example of how we do wonderful donated readings here at My Psychic Connection. So if you would like to have a donated reading tonight before the end of the show, all you need to do is go into the chat or the comments and click the donations link. Okay, so it's Halloween. Did you know that Halloween, that we know in modern terms, originally in the Celtic nations, so Scotland, Ireland, Wales, the Indo-European Celtic nations, it was known as Samhain. And Samhain is actually the name for November in Gaelic language. And so Samhain is about November. It was originally a pastoral. In other words, it went with the seasons of the year, but it also went with the agriculture of the year. And it was a time of year when the cows were brought in from the pastures and the fields in the Northern Hemisphere and put into barns for the freezing cold of the winter to help them survive. And of course, in Celtic culture, in Celtic mythology, Celtic way of life, the daytime actually began at sunset instead of in the morning. So with Halloween, or with Samhain, it actually begins at sunset on the 31st of October and then continues through until sunset on the 1st of November. And in Celtic tradition, they actually lasted over about 3 days. But a little bit more about that later. I think I'm ready for another question. Who do we have, please? Wow, another donation. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And it's from our beautiful Gemma. Gemma asks, could you go a bit more into my question? And do you think they will work it out long term? Well, let's have a look at the long term for this. And yes, so he's been seeing women talking to other women online, but they both want to stay together. And so how can this relationship really grow and develop? So let's have a look at how this relationship might grow and develop. So I'm going to look at 6 months from now, 12 months from now, and 18 months from now. And then I'm going to look at the obstacle or challenges that need to be overcome. And then I'm going to look at the positives around this. So looking at between now and probably 6 months, I see the Page of Wands. I see that there is an opportunity for this relationship to kind of start again. I see with pages, they represent small new beginnings when we're not literally talking about children. And wands represent fire energy. So this is the desire, that spark, that motivation that makes you get up in the morning. So I feel that between now and 6 months, the energy is there for them to start making positive changes around this relationship. I feel that they both need to get themselves on the same page first in order for this to start happening. And Gemma says that's when the baby will be born. Yeah, interesting timing. It could bring them together, having a child, but let's continue on and see how it might grow and develop after the 6 months. Between 6 months and 12 months, I have, which one is this? The 9 of Wands reversed. Now I'm going to show it up right first, Gemma. You can see arguing, ignoring, not looking good. So the fact that this card is upside down is saying to me that, yes, as they go through the next 6 months, so that'd be like 6 months, a year away, they can move forward with this. I feel the arguing will be less. What I see between naught now and 12 months is that they need to really come to some agreement around this issue of him talking to women online. You know, that needs to be resolved first, because that's the crunch point. And with that crunch point, it means there's the lack of trust. And so, as I said before, they need to come together and really have some heart-to-heart communication. There's a great sentence that is used in communication when you're going into something that's really difficult. And it says, it's something along the lines of, when you talk to women online, I feel this, this, and this. And then he could say, well, because I'm talking to women online, I feel this, this, and this. So instead of pointing the finger and blaming and getting into an argument, it's about opening up the feelings and understanding, A, why he's doing it, And B, what are the trust issues for your daughter? So that's the crux over the next 0 to 12 months. I do see potential there for you. Thank you so much for the donation, Gemma. I really appreciate it. And I did have so much more to say beyond the first 2-minute free reading. So thank you for making that donation. All right. So Samhain. What else can I tell you about Samhain? And of course, in modern day terms, we call it Halloween. In Christian terms, Samhain became All Hallows Eve and then morphed into Halloween. Samhain is one of the 4 major Celtic festivals in the year, and it's all about harvest. This one is about taking, and Gemma says, thank you so much. Gemma, my sweet, you are so welcome. So with Samhain, we had our harvest one a few weeks ago. Now with Samhain, it's when the veil is at its thinnest. And it's a time where we sort of prepare our food, prepare our harvest to take us through winter. So we're storing goods, we're preserving goods. That's traditionally how it worked. And also it represented the Celtic New Year. So if you think of Samhain, we're going to ancestors, we're going into the death side. So it's about letting go of summer and autumn and coming into winter. And so they saw that as their new year because they observed the sun in the sky. And as the sun was getting less and less strong, then they would try and do things that would keep the sun there. So they would go into protection mode. And so that's why Samhain is also considered a time where there is protection against negative spirits as well. Okay, so that's enough about that. Let's go on to our next question, please. Who do we? Oh, Crystal Connection already. Where has the time gone? All right, time for our Crystal Connection game. Before the show, the team and I chose a crystal. So start keying in. We've got about 2 minutes to start keying in. See if you can go beyond the veil. I'm going to put my Scottish accent back on. See if you can go beyond the veil. See if you can tune in to my mind and see which crystal I chose, because you will win a divination reading from me if you choose the correct crystal. Now, I'm going to give you a little hint. It's not a black crystal tonight. I know it would seem obvious to choose a black crystal, but no, it's not a shadow or dark crystal. So get keying in and see if we can get a winner tonight. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about Samhain. At Samhain, this is a time when the dead were honoured. We honoured our loved ones who'd passed on. And one of the traditions that used to happen was that they would sit down and have what we call a dumb supper. Not dumb as in stupid, dumb as in silent. So the family would prepare a beautiful feast, and a place would be set that no one sat there, and it represented the ancestors and loved ones who had passed. And everyone would sit down and eat their dinner in silence, not because it was nasty, but because from their perspective, those who had passed over, the ancestors, could not join in the conversation. So out of respect, then they ate in silence and remembered with love. I think that's beautiful, isn't it? There are so many, many traditions that we still apply in modern days, but we don't understand where they came from. So I love looking at the history of all of this. Also, we've got a winner. Anne says clear crystal. Yes, the winning crystal was crystal quartz. Have I got one here? Yes, I do, to show you. So there it is, a beautiful clear crystal quartz. So let's see, we've got to do a beautiful reading for you, Anne. So let me see what deck I'm going to use. And Anne says, wow, yes. So I am going to use my Everyday Witch Tarot for you and do a divination reading. So let's see what we have. Just shuffling the cards and laying them out. So Anne, I feel like for you, I've got the Wheel of Fortune reverse. So I'm feeling for you that things are a little bit on the downward trend at the moment. I kind of feel that you're looking at things from the cup half empty instead of half full. I also feel like your own energy is draining out. You can see that everything looks like it's draining downwards. Then I have the 8 of Wands reversed as well. And so this is just confirming for me that you need to work on nurturing yourself. You need to work on getting your energy back up and getting that passion back up, that interest back up. I feel like you've kind of gone within yourself and become very, very contained. The next one I have is the 7 of Wands. Gosh, my dear, you're going through a bit of a tough time because it feels like you're having to justify yourself all the time, defend yourself with this 7 of Wands. So what I like about this is about you standing your ground. Don't let others overly influence you at the moment. Because they want to do something doesn't mean that you have to. And then I've got the Page of Swords. Now, here's some good news for you, my dear. Page of Swords representing small new beginnings. Swords represent our thinking, our communication, our planning, our strategy. And he's standing tall and raising that sword up, and he's taking charge. So it is time for you to take charge once again. Let's do some things with this as well. And I've got the Dragon. So this is saying stand in your own power, stand in your own energy. Take the time to start building your energy back up again, start building your confidence back up again, and then you will be able to stand tall like that Page of Wands and begin anew. And then finally, we've got the Fish. Fish represents abundance, not just money abundance, but abundance on all levels. I see you coming back to you. I see you having faith in yourself again, particularly around decisions that you are unsure about at the moment. Well, and congratulations on being the winner of our Crystal Connection game tonight. I really appreciate you playing, and thank you to everyone who tried guessing the crystals. Okay, I think we should go on for another reading. Who do we have, please? And we have Melee. What a beautiful name. I wish I had a nicer name. What am I talking about? I'm Innerji. I love my name. All right. Melee asks, is this healing class I'm starting leading me into new positivity, opportunities, and blessings? Great. Well, let's have a look at this healing class. So I'm going to have a look at it when you first begin the class. I'm going to look at it when you complete the class, and then we're going to look at opportunities moving forward. So at the beginning of this, I've got the Ace of Swords reversed. So this is saying to me that I feel like it's going to be good. You're going to start small, but that's not a bad thing, and you're going to take it step by step. I feel that you're ready for this. So this healing class that you're doing, I feel like, yes, go step by step and really spend your time studying. What will it look like when you graduate? I've got the Page of Pentacles reversed. I feel it's something that you won't immediately turn into, say, a small business or a healing center or something like that. But I feel it's something that initially you will use more for yourself. And as you go through it more, you will then build confidence to then work with others. So after you've got yourself out there, I've got the Four of Wands. This is awesome. So for you, in terms of opportunities and positivity, I see this strengthening you. I see this giving you the confidence that you need to do healing work, because this Four of Wands, you can see them. They're so happy. They're committed to each other. And I see that you're committing to a path, a positive path moving forward that is going to not just help you on so many levels, but help others as well. And finally, the Eight of Wands. Everything will come into alignment after you complete this course. Remember, the course itself is not going to be the thing that moves you forward. It's how you use the tools that you learn in that course. So please be aware of that. It's almost like this healing course is a stepping stone for you. Let's do a coin and see what we have. How appropriate. I've got the books. Yeah. Focus on the study, worry about the rest later. Thank you so much for your question. That was a great question. Healing work. That just reminds me, I am a Reiki practitioner. So I am currently offering, just like the other Reiki practitioners here at My Psychic Connection, I am offering Reiki healing by distance, and it's absolutely free. So if you would like to have a Reiki healing, come onto my healing list. Please start putting in some blue heart emojis in the comments, and I will add you onto my healing list and send you some lovely Reiki distance healing. Okay, I think we should go on to another question. How's everybody doing tonight? Are you feeling Halloweeny? And we've got Kat. And Kat asks, when will I hear from Jeff? Thank you. All right, so this is a timing one, so I'm going to use a different deck for this. First of all, I'm going to ask, how likely is it that you will hear from Jeff? Because it might be a no. And then we'll look at the when. So we'll just shuffle the deck and see. Okay. All right, so I feel communication is well and truly closed at the moment. I've got the moon card reversed. I feel that there's a lot going on here in the background that's getting in the way. Let's go for the next card. I've got the 7 of Cups. I'm seeing not a lot of opportunity for you to hear from Jeff. I feel like the doors are closed right now. He's taking some time out. I've got a feeling like it's almost like one of you, I don't know who it is, maybe both of you, are kind of like licking your wounds, if that makes sense. It's almost like you've gone to your opposite corners to kind of, regenerate and get back on track again. I'm not seeing quick connections here. I've got the 9 of Cups. This is the wishes fulfilled card when it's upright. And I'm not seeing that he will contact you. You may have to be the one that takes the initiative. But while you're having this break of him not contacting you and you not contacting him, I think this is a good time for you to really sit down and look at this relationship, whether it be friendship or romantic. Look at what it is. Look at what has created this issue in the first place and see if you want to reconnect with this person, what can be done about it. Let's do a T sign. I do feel the longer term. I'm getting it more than 3 months is what was put in my head just then. I've got my little movie screen in my head and the number 3 and months were put up. So I feel it's at least 3 months away, but remember the future is fluid. If you can both resolve how you're feeling about this, that could come in sooner. But I feel like you're the one that has to move forward. I've got the tunnel here and you're the one that has to be the one that starts the initiating rather than waiting. Thank you so much for that. It's never easy when we lose contact with someone, whether we've had an argument with them. Sometimes with friendships and relationships, it just means the time is done and it's time to move on. And I'm talking about all sorts of relationships as well, romantic ones, friendships, family relationships. They're complicated things, aren't they? Wow. All right. I'm just going to take a breath for a moment. And I'm going to invite the Scottish Witch of the North to come back and talk a little bit more about Samhain. So, Samhain, Halloween. It was a time of great gatherings in the north. It was a time of feasts. And it was a time of bonfires. And they had this tradition where they would light the Samhain bonfire. It was a community one, and all the community would gather. And then at home, everybody would close and douse their home fires, their hearth fires, and they would celebrate at the feast. And then they would each take a log, a small log of lighted fire, and take it home and light their hearth with that to bring good fortune for the coming year. Don't you love the stories of ancient times and the mythology and the beliefs? I just think it's incredible. Okay, let's go on to our next question, please. Who do we have? And we have Anne. And Anne says, liked and shared. Thank you for sharing. Really appreciate that. And Anne asks, hello, Innerji. Do you see a romance and dating with my new love interest man, please? I haven't talked to him in a while, but we'll see him again soon. He is not an ex. And brilliant question, good detail. So let's have a look at this person of interest, this gentleman of interest, and see what might lie ahead in regard to a romantic relationship, a love relationship. So let's see. All right, I think you've got a little bit of a ways to go with this. The first card I have is the World card reversed. And so I feel like don't give out too much too soon in terms of opening your heart too soon. I feel like you've got to be slow about this. I feel like you've got to take your time and not broaden the world too much. Don't bring him into your world too soon or too much. Allow it to grow more organically. And the reason I'm saying that is I've got the Eight of Swords, and I feel like within you, there are some things that you need to deal with first. This Eight of Swords, she looks like she's caged behind the swords and she's not happy and she wants to get out and be free. So I feel that for you, when you're looking at the romantic relationship with this person of interest, that you need to look at what is it that you want from this relationship. You need to be clear about what you want in terms of how it may move forward, because you don't want to be trapped unnecessarily. I feel like you're holding on and trapped with emotions from the past, and it's kind of getting in the way. The next card I have is the Star card reversed as well. And so this is why I'm saying you've got a bit of a ways to go with this person. I do feel there's potential there, but I feel like enjoy it for what it is at the moment. What I see a lot is we all want to get to the end of the story and we don't realize there are all of these adventures to have as we travel through the story. So focus on the fun, focus on having the adventure. Oh, thank you so much for your question. I really, really appreciate that one. And another good love question. We're getting the love tonight. Okay, it's time for Mystic Moment. So tonight's Mystic Moment, because we are celebrating Halloween, or Samhain to use the Gaelic term, which means the month of November, I am going to talk about the numerology for November. Now, November is the 11th month of the year, and 11 is a master number. And so when we look at the number 11, we are looking at the bigger picture. We're looking at more than what is happening close to home. We are looking at the impacts of things that we wouldn't normally consider. We're looking at the impact on ourselves. With that number 11, it's also, there's more, with all of the master numbers, 11, 22, 33, 44, there's a higher level of responsibility attached to these numbers. So November, and also being in Scorpio, we're kind of diving deeper this month and diving deeper emotionally and looking at things from the bigger picture. It's also a month where we need to look at our own integrity, look at standing true to what we believe in and not be confused, not be influenced negatively by others. And it's also a month where we want to look deeper at the understanding of things. So as you go through November, you're looking at, all the things that are happening at work, in the family, home, all sorts of things, study. And it's about looking at all of those things more deeply, looking at your reason for doing them, looking to see if there is another way that you can do them with this number 11 master energy. It's also known as a spiritual teacher energy. So what can you share? What of your wisdom can you share out a little bit further, a little bit more widely than perhaps you do already? Now, of course, with all numerology, there is a shadow side. And the shadow side of the master number 11 is that things can get a little bit too pessimistic. The negative side of Scorpio, being in Scorpio season at the moment, is that we can dive so deep, we take ourselves down into that black hole and get really pessimistic. And the 11 number in its shadow side can do that as well. So just be aware that when we dive deeply, we don't want to be like Alice and go way down that rabbit hole and not know what is going to happen at the other end. We need to be balanced about it. Also, it's a number where you can be a little bit unrealistic as well. So make sure that when you're looking at the bigger picture, the spiritual outlook and the understanding in that deep dive, that you stay realistic as well. I do hope you found tonight's Mystic Moment to be helpful. And I just love numerology. And don't forget, you can see numerology every day at My Psychic Connection on YouTube if you want to check in for the numerological energies of the day. Okay, I think I'm ready for another question. Who do we have, please? And we have Jen. Hello, Jen. Jen says, hello, yes, please. My name is Jennifer. Will it lead to a reconciliation with me and Ali from my past, who I met more than 20 years ago? Wow. After reaching out to him and receiving a message from him on Instagram on Sunday. How incredible is it when people come back into our lives after all that time? So let's have a look at how this might move forward with this person for you. So I'm going to use my Dark Mansion deck for you since it's Halloween and see. So contact has been made after 20 years. How will it go? Oh, I see a bit of potential here for you. The first card I have is the Magician card. Look at this magician, isn't he cool? So I feel like, things are coming together in order for you to continue to make contact with this person, at least initially. I feel the right conditions are there. I also have the Nine of Swords reversed. Now, this is a really dark card normally. This is the card of pessimism, self-doubt, anxiety. So I feel like any anxieties you have around reconnecting with this person, you can kind of let go. But as I say, just take it slow and steady. And then we've got the Seven of Cups. I do feel like this reconnection could go in a number of directions, not just one way. It's not necessarily going to be a romantic connection. It's not necessarily going to be just a friendship. I do feel like it's going to take some twists and turns and for it to grow. So there are some opportunities coming your way to connect in different ways. And then I've got the Ace of Cups reversed. Now, this is where we come into the juicy stuff for you. Aces, when they're reversed, are still opportunities, still planting the seeds for change. And when they're upside down like this, then it's just a smaller growth. And then we have Cups. So that's all about the heart, all about love, relationships, intuition, all of that beautiful touchy-feely stuff. So I do feel there is opportunity for this to grow into a relationship. There we go. Thank you so much for your question, Jennifer. I really, really appreciate it. That was a good one. So a little bit more about Samhain. You might know from my Scottish accent that I was born and lived in Scotland as a wee lassie. And we used to have some Halloween traditions in our house. And one of them was called dunking for apples. And what we would do is we'd get a big basin of water, we'd float apples in it, we'd put our hands behind our back and we would go in and we would dunk, and with our teeth we'd have to pick up an apple. And if we did pick up an apple, it meant good fortune for the coming year. Now, that tradition actually goes way, way back into about the 1600s. And these were some of the if you like, more superstitious things that were done in those days by the Celts. Another one, because we just had readings about love tonight, another one was in Scotland. A young lassie who wanted to see her true love and know who they were, she had to peel an apple, and it all had to be peeled in one long strip. And then she would throw it over her shoulder, and whatever initial formed, that was the first initial of the man she was going to marry. I love all these things. We've lost so much, I think, sometimes as we don't look back at the mythology and the stories in our ancestry. Yeah. I wonder if that's something you do. Let me know. And of course, our emoji game's still going, so don't stop keying in those emojis, kangaroos, Halloween emojis, because there's another divination reading coming up for the person who's won the most emojis. All right. And Lynn says, we used to do that at parties in Australia with apples. Yeah, look, Halloween in the US came about because there was mass migration of the Irish and the Scots into the US, and they wanted to continue their traditions. And what I love about it is that it's sort of spreading around the world. It's not huge here in Australia, but it is growing in momentum as we go through each year. All right, let's take our next question, please. Who do we have? And we have Cindy. And Cindy says, good evening. I'm sorry I'm asking again. I'm trying really hard not to think this. Is my friend Jay avoiding my messages? Sweetie, no, he's not. No, he's not avoiding. Please understand, he's going through his own thing at the moment. We can't always respond to people when they want us to. And I know from your perspective, that's really, really hard because you want to be there for him. But he has to take his own journey and you have to take yours. But let me add some cards to that. Yeah, look, I've got the World card upside down. He's closed down again at the moment. He did reach out to you before because he wanted to let you know that he was receiving his messages, but now you have to have the patience to let him do what he needs to do. I've got the King of Wands here, and this is saying to me that he's starting to take charge of himself again. He's starting to take action around what he needs for himself. And it's not just you, Cindy. He's doing this with everyone. He needs to keep his energy for himself right now. And this is going to take some time because I've got the Knight of Swords reversed. I don't think he's going to be communicating in the near future because he's still got his own stuff to do. I'm sorry, that's not the news you want to hear, but my dear, I encourage you to send out love and healing, but don't expect him to come back and respond to you in the timing that you want. Give him the space, give him the love to come back and respond when he needs to. And you put your energy back into you, my dear. You put your energy back into what you need to do for you, because you're just as important to nurture as Jay is. Thank you so much for your question. I know it wasn't the answer you wanted, but I do hope you have found it at least to be somewhat of help. So thank you very much. Okay, I think I need to take another breath. Do you like my mist, by the way? Like my little bit of fog there, creating that Halloween nighttime atmosphere? Yeah? Okay, let's go on to our next question, please. Oh, it's emoji time. And love, you are the winner of our emoji contest. Congratulations. Yay. The most emojis. Let's see. I am going to use my Everyday Witch Tarot for your divination message as well. So let's see what we have for you, love. Your fingers must have been typing very, very hot. All right, here we go. So the first one we have is the Hanged Man reversed. I know he looks like he's upright, but he's actually reversed. He's not hanging in this position. So what I'm seeing for you, my dear, is you're not seeing things from a different perspective. It's time to take a fresh look at things. There's a saying, if you always do what you always did, you'll always get what you always got. And I feel you're kind of in that rut at the moment. So I feel it's about you turning this card upside down and looking at things from a different perspective. You ever hung upside down as a kid and looked around you and gone, wow, it's so different? That is the energy that you need to bring in at the moment. I also have the Knight of Wands reversed. And this is saying to me that, again, there's lots of low energy around at the moment, not just for you, but for everyone. I'm seeing it a lot, people with energy that's really low, feeling burnt out. So I feel also you need to take time to look after yourself a little bit better. You need to work on building that energy. It's awesome. And Love says, getting used to it now, lol. I mean, laugh out loud. Yeah, it's about nurturing you. It's okay to nurture you. It's okay to look after yourself. It's not being selfish, by the way. It's being centered in the self. And the next card is I have the Five of Swords. And I feel like there's been lots of little disagreements, not seeing eye to eye with people around you lately. And I feel that that's what's been getting your energy down, pulling your energy down. Other people's thoughts, other people's opinions, other people saying, this is wrong, this is right. And you're getting sucked in. So I encourage you to stay away from the drama. And the final card I have for you is the Empress. This is great. You can do this. You can get through this low energy period that you have at the moment, because the Empress is nurturing. I see you becoming the nurturer yourself, this Empress energy. I see you taking time for yourself, not just to do the things that, oh, I better take a vitamin or something. This is things that nurture your spirit, your heart, your mind, not just your body. And Love says, yeah, other people's expectations of me. Yes. So it is okay for you to say no. As I've said many times, no is a complete sentence. You don't have to agree to everything that comes along. So work on you. Become that beautiful, nurturing Empress, because when you become that Empress energy, you then become creative, and then you're in a better place to help others as well. Thank you so much, and congratulations on being tonight's emoji winner. And Love says, yes, I feel I need myself the most now. Yeah, be your own best friend when it comes to nurturing yourself. And I say that to everyone. Be your own best friend when it comes to nurturing yourself. All the wonderful advice that you might give to a friend, give it back to you in terms of how you can take care of yourself and get your energy back up. And this is for everyone, because our energies are just doing this at the moment. They're all over the place. All right, now I want to talk about some Samhain or Halloween crystals. And the first one I want to talk about is black obsidian. Now, one of the things that people do around Samhain or Halloween time is, because the veil is the thinnest between the ancestors, loved ones, those who've passed, spirit guides, fairies, elementals, the whole bit, most people who follow the wheel of the year, who follow Halloween or Samhain from a more spiritual perspective, try to make that contact. And one of the ways you can do it is to use a black obsidian scrying mirror. And so you sit in a darkened room with a candle and you gaze into the mirror, you tune in, you slow your breath down and see what you can see. So black obsidian is a wonderful crystal when it's polished like this to be able to scry, to be able to try and make some contact with ancestors and loved ones who've passed. The other thing I'll say about black obsidian, it's good for giving protection against negativity as well. It reflects, you can see here, it will reflect it back. It's also great for the base chakra, for grounding you, because black is a very earthy color, so this will ground you as well. So a little bit about a crystal for Samhain or Halloween. I think I'm ready for my next question, please. Who do we have? And we have Corinna. Hi, Corinna. Lovely to see you here. And Corinna says, hello again. I am looking for a rental on behalf of one of my sons. I'm wondering what you see regarding success in the areas he's hoping for by the time required. So we have a little bit of a time limit on this as well. And there are specific areas he's looking at. So let's see if any rentals will come his way that you are pointing out for him within the time required. Okay. This is looking quite positive. The first card I have is the Ten of Cups. So this is a very homely card. It's a family card, if you like. So I see that yes, there is something there. It's out there, and it looks like it's one of the areas that he wants to be in. I see it as somewhere where there's a little bit, if not a big garden, but some sort of garden, some sort of outdoor area where he can go outside and relax. So it is looking positive. And I've also got the Queen of Wands, and this is you. This is you. You're action woman for him at the moment. And Corinna says, thank you. Woohoo! Yes. You're action woman. You really are supporting him, and I think that's a beautiful thing to see. And then I've got the King of Pentacles reversed. So I feel that there is one little spanner in the works. It's not all sunshine and light. With this King of Pentacles reversed, I feel like when he's looking in the areas, when you give him some houses to go and check out or apartments, whatever it is, I feel he really needs to look at the practicalities and the financial side very carefully. I feel one of the spanners in the work might be he'll find a fabulous place that you've pointed out to him, but the money might be the issue. So that's something that really needs to be looked at. So he needs to look at his pennies now and see what his budget is and not get carried away with, oh my gosh, I love this, I'll find a way to make it work. No, make sure that you've got the money there as well. And let's add the 2 points to that and see what we have. And Corinna says, I really appreciate this. Oh, my sweet, I appreciate you being here and asking the question. I've got the bell. Can I do a Halloween Destiny K? Let's see if I can do it with Halloween. I've got the bell. Oh, that was disastrous, wasn't it? All right. So I think we just go straight on to another question, please. Who do we have? And we have Squirrel. Hello, Miss Squirrel. Happy Halloween, and happy Halloween again to everyone. Squirrel asks, what can I do to help balance my sense of responsibility as a caregiver to my mother and my sense of self? Oh, that is a really, really good question. Not easy to do. So let's have a look at how we can get this balance around it. Oops, nearly dropped all the cards. That would be a Halloween thing to do. Okay. So I've got the Knight of Wands, reversed. So the first thing, I'm going to be really blunt with you. The first thing you've got to do is stop. Stop rushing around. Stop being at everyone's beck and call, because you're kind of being pulled from pillar to post at the moment, and you need to draw a line in the sand and say enough is enough. We need to find a better way of managing this. And this isn't just about your decisions, it's about the decisions of everyone involved, because you can decide that you want to do this, but you need to get everyone else on board as well and find a way forward that's a middle ground. I've got the Four of Swords, and I can see this is really getting you down. Have a look at her. She's mourning. You are mourning a part of a loss of your life. And that's not selfish, by the way. That is definitely not selfish, mourning that, because it's not easy being a caregiver. It's not easy being a carer, no matter how wonderful the person you're caring for may or may not be. So I feel that it's draining you mentally, it's draining you physically, and it's putting you into that glass half empty and glass half full. So what can you do? I think you've got to take the blindfold off and really look at the situation, really look at what's happening around this caregiving responsibility that you have. Really look at it as though you were someone else. Don't look at it as squirrel. Don't look at it as someone's sister, daughter, auntie, whatever it is. Look at it as though you were someone coming in from the outside and observing the dynamic. Oh, there was so much more I wanted to say. Look, I do hope that little bit was of help to you, Squirrel. Thank you so much for your question, and not an easy thing to do. I have been carer to my mum, and it wasn't easy. It took a lot of compromise, let's put it that way. All right, well, guess what? It's time for the last question of the show. Where has this Halloween Eve gone? It's gone so quickly. Are we out of time? Are we in a time link at the moment because it's Halloween? I don't know. But let's take our last question and see who we have. And we have Dee Dee. And Dee Dee says, hi, how are you enjoying Halloween? I am loving it. I am having a ball here with everyone. And Dee Dee's a first-time watcher. Well, welcome. Welcome to our My Psychic Connection family. And Dee Dee asks, wondering if I was guided here to find clarity if my ex is going to come back and missing me, or has he moved on? I feel he's moved on, that he's left. All right, let's have a look and see if he has moved on. And Dee Dee says, thank you so much. You're welcome, Dee Dee. So I'm going to use my romance deck again for this, and we'll just see what are the chances of him coming back, or has he moved on? I'm going to start off with, has he moved on? Has he moved on? Yes. Yes. Okay, so the first card I have is the Two of Cups, upside down, so it's reversed. So yeah, this is saying to me that the past is the past when it comes to this ex. He's not moving on. Upright, you can see an old couple there. They're happy. They've been together for yonks. So the fact that this is upside down is no, he's moved on. He's definitely moved on from this. In fact, I would say with this Queen of Cups, he's actually looking elsewhere as well at the moment. So I feel like, yeah, that's done and dusted. I've also got the Seven of Swords reversed. And so once again, I see no coming back from this. So it's about you moving on now and letting it go and healing your heart. I just want to add a little bit more to this for you, because this, you know, that's done. It's done. He's not coming back, and I wouldn't go chasing him either. So for you, I feel like you've closed your world off a fair bit. So I feel like it's about you opening up and getting on with your own life. I feel it's about you making some different friends. You know, it's hard when we break up with someone because we've got our friends, my friends, their friends. And so opening up your social circle, I think, will be really, really helpful for you. I also feel with this Page of Cups that as you move forward, you will be able to open up your heart once again in the future in a small. I hope you found that to be helpful. And thank you for being here at Halloween, Samhain, whatever you would like to call it, whatever name you like to use. Just a reminder that I'll invite back my Scottish Witch of the North. Just a reminder that tonight at midnight, Halloween continues with Journey Ryan and Psychic K. We're delving into the shadows of dreams, so don't miss that. Don't miss that. And of course, tomorrow, 6 p.m, Down the Rabbit Hole with Miss Bunny Sugars. 10 p.m, Whispers from the Forest with Squirrel. And midnight, it's the Astrology Breakdown with Journey Ryan, Squirrel. And yeah, yours truly, I'm going to be joining in all the fun as well. Happy Halloween, everyone. My spider just went flying off because it's the end of the show. Many blessings for you for Samhain. Until next time, take care.